We've gone after the fast food places, the snacks, and even the movie theaters. But today we're gonna go to the furniture store for some reason. Yeah. Sorry, am I interrupting the recipe? My apologies. Pre-order the book. Link is in the description. Thank you. Okay, so today we're making IKEA's coveted Swedish meatballs. I can't believe I'm saying that. Why does this exist? It's just one of those weird things that we all just accept and don't think, wait a minute, why is this furniture store selling me meatballs like nobody's business? It just shouldn't be our business. Whose business is this, really? I'm kind of confused. What kind of a business is this? What? Who are you? The point is, these meatballs have quite the clout. And, you know, IKEA's balls and my balls, I think, need to come together and really duke it out. And so that's what we're going to do. There's nothing else to say after that. So let's make this, shall we?
Why is it always packed? Can we just have one day where IKEA is just here? You know, you don't have to come to IKEA. You don't have to. You could just stay at home, like you're supposed to.
Okay, so we're back from IKEA. We got a to-go tin. It's all still warm because it's right across, well, not right across the street, but it's nearby us. You ever heard a meatball make this noise? Let me answer that for you.
No.
There's a fish aroma coming from this. Not sure how that's possible, but hey, anything's possible on But Better. Well, I have jam on my fork, so let's try that first. I mean, it's not bad, it's just not good. Bitter, imbalanced. It's just straight sugar, but the lingonberries taste kind of good. Mashed potatoes first.
Trash.
I've had instant mashed potatoes that are better than this. Meatballs. Now, I do like these, so hopefully they are good today. This is not good. These are coveted because they come from a furniture store, okay? That's what we're judging right now. Can we make them better? My God, I sure hope so. All right, folks, we have a couple basic components here. The meatballs and their coveted gravy, our mashed taters, broccoli, but you know, actually exciting, and a beautiful lingonberry, or well, in this case, cranberry jam. I know a lot of people are gonna complain, oh, Josh, it needs to be lingonberry. You know what? Look, if you can't find lingonberries, do me a favor and don't let those you-know-what berries tell you that you can't use cranberries. Are they the same? No, but they taste close and they contribute the same purpose to the dish. Now that I've made a few people angry, let's start with that. In a medium-sized sauce pot, add 12 ounces or 350 grams of lingonberries or cranberries. They can be fresh or frozen, both will work. Then add 1 1/4 cup or 250 grams of granulated white sugar, half a cup or 120 milliliters of orange juice, half a cup or 120 milliliters of water, 2 tablespoons or 30 milliliters of lemon juice, and 3 large strips of orange zest. Peel it off. There's no need to grate it. Give that a stir and set the temp to medium-high. Let that come to a boil, then reduce it to low and simmer for 20 minutes. Stirring and mashing occasionally until it's thickened into a light syrup and all the berries have
Moist?
open. Then just remove the orange zest or leave it in. It's up to you. Then toss it in a food processor or blender and blend until completely smooth. Then finally pass it through a fine mesh strainer and cool completely to room temperature. I mean, just look at that beautifully silky and smooth jam that I want in and around my mouth. Okay, next is our mashed potatoes. Real easy. Get yourself 3 large russet potatoes or more depending on how many you want. Peel them, cut them into chunks. God, that's a terrible word for anything you're gonna eat. Chunked. Anyway, toss in a pot and fill with water. Please set over medium-high heat until it comes to a boil and let that cook until fork tender. Then press them through a potato ricer, link and bile for dad. Separately in a small saucepan, add 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter and 1 cup of whole milk. Heat that over medium heat just until hot and the butter is melted. Pour 3/4 of that over your rice taters, stir that together, and if it's still pretty thick, feel free to add the rest of the liquid. Then just season that bad boy to taste with salt and pepper, stir till completely smooth, and of course, add extra butter if you're feeling a little extra nutty.
Naughty little potato man wants his sweet cream butter.
Now, just keep that bad boy warm and to the side. Next, let's talk broccoli. Please, there's a time and a place for steaming and boiling, and plain broccoli is simply not one of them. Instead, what I'd recommend is breaking your broccoli down into florets. I like my florets tall, so I leave quite a bit of stem on there. Then coat a medium-sized pan with enough oil to coat the bottom. Then heat that over medium-high heat, and once that's ripping hot, add in your broccoli, cut sides down, season that to taste with salt, and let that sear for 2 to 3 minutes per side until you get a beautiful caramelization and a nice crust on most edges. Remember, we don't want this mush. We want it with a little bit of snap. Once that's done, hit it with some fresh lemon juice to taste, and additional salt if needed, and that's your broccoli. Now for our most important contender, the meatballs. So start with 1 pound or 450 grams of ground beef. It's about 80% lean, 3/4 of a pound or 350 grams of ground pork, also ideally around that 70 to 80% lean marker. Give your meat a nice massage, and mix together thoroughly. Maybe get a bigger bowl so you have actual room. Always with the wrong bowls and losing the lids to the pots with me. Papa, very sorry. Knead that together until it starts to get a little tacky and sticky. Then add 1 finely diced or grated sweet onion, 3 cloves of garlic minced, 2 teaspoons or 4 grams of ground white pepper, half a teaspoon or 1 gram of fresh grated nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon of ground allspice, half a cup or 55 grams of panko breadcrumbs. Begin mixing that all together, and once it's roughly combined, add 1 whole egg, mix that together, and finally 1/4 cup or 60 mils of whole milk. Mix that thoroughly to combine evenly, line a rim baking sheet with foil, spray the foil with non-stick cooking spray, then form the meat into 24 evenly sized balls, placing them in rows of 4. I'd recommend using a medium cookie scoop to get your balls as even as possible. Then toss those in an oven set to 425 Fahrenheit, ideally on a convection setting for 15 to 20 minutes or until beautifully browned and cooked through to an internal temp of 165 Fahrenheit. I mean, just look at my balls. Okay, but while those meatballs are still in the oven, what in tarnation are you doing? Twiddling your thumbs? Thinking about how Vikram is mad cute? Instead of all that, I'd recommend making the gravy during this time. In a medium saucepan, add 3 tablespoons or 42 grams of unsalted butter, heat that over medium-high heat until melted, and add 3 tablespoons or 28 grams of all-purpose flour. Whisk that together and let that cook, stirring occasionally for about 1 to 2 minutes or until it begins to turn a little darker. Then add 2 cups or 480 milliliters of hot beef broth. Please make sure this is the good quality beef broth, okay? Like the homemade stuff. The better the broth, the better the gravy. If it's crap, the gravy will be crap. See what I'm saying? Follow that up with 2 tablespoons or 30 milliliters of double fermented soy sauce. Then just bring that to a light simmer and reduce for 5 minutes or until thickened. Then add half a cup or 120 milliliters of heavy whipping cream and simmer for 2 more minutes, stirring occasionally. And that gravy right there is a true beauty in the world of sauces. You can also add a teaspoon or 3 grams of Dijon mustard for a little extra to the sauce. Okay, assembly time. Get yourself a nice plate. Offset on one side of the plate, add a nice big mound of mashed potato. Then using the back of a large spoon, give it a nice swipe to get a little swoosh. You know, getting a little fancy here with our titers. Then add 4 to 8 meatballs per plate. I put 7 here because, well, unfortunately it looked better for the video, but if I'm being honest here. Add on your broccoli, followed by a lovely quenelle of your cranberry jam to absolutely exhibit its stellar consistency. And finally, sauce your balls generously with your gravy. I mean, really just coat them nicely, all right? As much or as little as you like, but put a lot. Then just finish that with some finely chopped fresh Italian parsley and fresh cracked black pepper. As usual, we slang the visuals in comparison, but do our meaty balls and unctuous gravy compete with a furniture store? God, I hope so. Let's find out. Just by looking at the quenelle of this jam, it's almost like this is like before and after. Before, after. Let's start with the jam. I mean, instantaneously better. It's balanced, it's got acidity. You see what I'm saying? Potato. They're better, thank you for coming, by a lot. This is like paper, just plain bleached paper. And then this is like Leonardo da Vinci's paintings. That sounds a little God complexy. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm just saying this is egregiously better. It's not even fair. Broccoli, flavor, caramelization is crunchy. This did all the talking for me. Last but not least, the balls. You ever have the cafeteria food version of something that you like and it destroys how much you like it? Welcome to the cafeteria. I have nothing else to say other than Vikram, please join us today on today's taste test. Yay! He's back today. It's Vikram, the man, little baby man. So number 1, Vikram's getting nervous. Number 2, da 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 da.
The first one.
Na 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 na. Here's 1 and 2. Vikram likes broccoli.
I will say either way, it's just broccoli.
It's never just broccoli.
Oh, it's not just broccoli.
Vikram doesn't like jam. Everybody roast him in the comments. Ha ha ha. Doesn't like jam. Jam number 1. It's not too much. Yucky wucky face. Jam number 2. Vikram doesn't like jam. Part 7.
Yours is the second one.
Yeah. Our final contestant, the meat ball. Number 1. Number 2. There you go.
This one's yours for sure. Oh my gosh, the light. You won on all fronts.
Woo! Episode 41, but better. Swedish meatballs from IKEA. Sweden? What's next? Your move. You wanna know what else is full of Papa's meaty, juicy, sauced up balls B-roll. Alright guys, and that is it. So we made the IKEA Swedish meatballs and they came out perfectly. I mean, beyond perfectly. Everything just made sense and actually tasted real. I feel like there was a point where the meatballs at IKEA were really good. Please, no jokes, I already know where you're going with that. The point is we made them significantly better. All the accoutrement on the side, all the different sides, the mashed potatoes, everything. You can do that at home very easily, and I'm happy to supply that to you. So with all that said, if you enjoyed this video or you learned something, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time. If this fly keeps flying in my face, he's dead. He's dead. Dead. Sorry you had to see that. Goodbye.